The Swingin' A's are in first place, Julio. Kind of. They're a half game back. We've played more games than the Astros. But before we started this pod, I was gonna hopefully say that. But who would have thought at any point in time during this season that the A's would be in any form of first place in the AL West, even though it's only 6 games in?
Well, take it. I've been riding on a high this whole week. I've been talking shit in multiple group chats. I've been texting multiple Yankees friends and coworkers. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's just so great to have baseball back and to actually see the A's being fun right now. It's even more exciting, man.
And in that first series against the Phillies, I think what really was hard to tell how they were going to play or not was there was definitely a lot of lineup moving around and a lot of guys playing different positions, and you could tell that Kotsay was still trying to figure out what guys' roles were, but it felt like once the last game of that series came along, you kind of got more of a feel for it. But when I thought we were playing the Rays, I for sure thought we would win maybe one game, but to take fucking 3 out of 4 against them, that was something that was really impressive. And to see how consistent the offense was and everything, oh my God, it was so much fun to watch. It felt very giddy.
It's you feel like a kid again. There was multiple times throughout this last week where I was standing watching the game just out of excitement. It's awesome. And that's the thing that we've been preaching for when we knew all this shit was going to be going down with this team. There's always going to be something to fun with this team. There's something always going to be exciting. You're going to get attached to, even if they rip your heart out. There's always going to be some fun and excitement with the A's. But anyways, Chris, welcome. It's been a few weeks. Town tailgate, baby. I'm Julio. That's Chris. It's been 3 weeks.
Was it 3
weeks? Roughly. Roughly 3
Last
weeks.
pod was the farewell to the Olsons, the Mets, and Bassett, right? Yeah.
And then welcome back to the old guy, or the old is new, who we're going to talk about them a lot in a little bit because they're one of the main things. But yeah, it's great. Oakland A's baseball is back. Baseball's back. We have a lot to talk about. Chris got the sweater. A lot of history happened in this past week around the game when it comes to did you screw up too early, to hitters making history, to gender lines being crossed for the first time.
Yeah.
A lot of A's news. We're going to talk about the upcoming series, make some of our bold predictions on the season. But Chris, first and foremost, where you're at, and I know the real reason why you're there, but what else? Why else are you there?
Why am I in San Francisco? Oh, opening day, duh.
Well, I thought you're going to say Xavier's wedding first.
Yeah. Shout out to our buddy Xavier. His wedding is tomorrow. I'm also here for that, but I'm here for opening day. I'm here for Easter. I am sitting in my sister's kitchen right now in San Francisco. She's her brand new house in the Richmond district, and it's pretty cool. It's who
are you going to the game with?
Everybody, dude. Mason, obviously, me and Mason have our tradition since 2008. This will be our oh my God, my math is terrible. This will be our 14th straight year. 14th.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 22. Because you count 08 as one. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, huh?
That's awesome.
15th straight year.
Kick ass. Same seats?
Jose and Sierra are going. No. We've moved around a bunch. Chris Martinez is going, and Krista. Idris and Jenny are going. I mean, my whole Antioch crew pretty much is going.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Chris Martinez, State Farm agent of Walnut Creek.
Like a good neighbor. Where's our hats?
Yeah, he owes us some swag. But yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Super excited for opening day, especially now the team is relevant. But we should hop into the national news first. Let's get going with that. So was it on yesterday or was it on
yesterday morning?
Yesterday. Clayton Kershaw had a perfect inning through 7 innings. And of course, Dave Roberts pulled him from the game after I think he had 80 pitches in the game so far. Like it was pretty low count. So once again, Dave Roberts pulls one of his pitchers with a no going, or in a quality start in general. This really has lit up Twitter by storm. Jeff Passan tweeted that in his eyes, he threw a no hitter. He counts it as part of his accolades. But Julio, I've been pretty vocal about the way I feel about how Dave Roberts manages his pitchers. I get the analytics are very in favor of, after the third time through the lineup, your starter should get pulled because that's when that's when the batters start to figure him out. But when you have a no hitter going, like you got to just give the guy a shot.
Yeah. It just kind of sucks that we're this small into the season before we got some major controversy about how the game is getting played, how the things are being played. Because I think this is why I'm most looking forward to this conversation, because I thought you're going to be more on the he should have stayed, whereas I was kind of on the I get it side. Because at the same time, Clayton Kershaw was totally cool with it. He's like, I would have been awesome, would have been cool. But at the same time, I had a limited spring training. You can take the lockout for that. And you've seen across baseball, nobody was going far into games so far. I think Cole Irvin went something like he got
pulled after
like 6 1/3 today.
Yeah.
But like across baseball, a lot of guys aren't going more than 5 innings, maybe 6 innings, because I think a lot of these guys' arms aren't in shape. So with someone like Kershaw, who you've had was out majority of the year last year, he's 33, 34 around there. You just want to be conservative. You want to keep him up there because the last thing you want is, guys going up to pushing that high 90 in pitch count and then tweaks the wrong thing on a pitch and that's it. So,
but it's a fucking no hitter, dude. Like,
I'm sorry. It's not no hitter. It's a perfect game. Even more.
Like, I'm sorry. I can't wrap my head around that. I understand like the like medical risks and everything. And like how there's been many cases in the past. Tim Lincecum is one of them when he threw that like 150 pitch no hitter and was hurt like 2 weeks later and was like out for like 6 months, not 6 months, like 4 months of the season. Like I get it, but dude, I mean, that's a lifelong dream right there. If I'm that pitcher, I'm livid if he pulls me out. Clayton Kershaw is a lot more chill than me. I don't know. I mean, and we talk about this issue with Dave Roberts in the playoffs all the time, how he pulls his pitchers too early in the playoffs. And he, he's kind of like, he's just married to the analytics. I don't know. It all feels relative to me.
Do you think he would have done it if it was, say, Walker Buehler or Julio Urias? Do you think he still would have pulled him?
I don't know. Walker Buehler has had kind of some injury issues recently, hasn't he? In the past couple of years.
No, I think he was relative, but more so like if it was one of the young guys. Do you think he still would have done it?
Like a younger, healthier arm? Is that kind of the way you're looking at it? No, I think he does it either way.
Okay.
I think this is just his managing style. It early in the season. Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of it, but he never lets his pitchers pitch past like 6 innings. Like that's always been his thing because the numbers against the third time through the lineup.
And it's going to be funny when we talk a little bit about this past week in baseball with the A's specifically, because they brought this point up on the broadcast, which is just like, I don't know how sustainable that kind of model of baseball is going to be, because it's like, well, if you're just going to have your starters consistently going 4 or 5 innings, you're going to kill your bullpen.
Yeah.
And then what now? And then you can only have so many arms there. And granted, this first month, I think it's going to be a little more lenient because they have like expanded rosters, because they're kind of treating 26. This as like because they're kind of treating this as like a mini spring training, more or less, because they didn't get the full thing. But this is going to be a problem going forward. I understand why you did it with this situation, but it's like this cannot continuously happen.
But
by the way,
didn't the Nationals prove 2 years ago that the game is not a bullpen style game anymore, that the game has evolved? Like, because they rode their three starting pitchers through that World Series.
Even last year.
Yeah.
The Braves rode
Yeah.
with Fried and Morton and Ian Anderson, and they just had the last three guys in the back with Will Smith and Tyler Ballsack, or what's his name, Matzik. They call him Ballsack. No, that's his nickname, dude. Go.
Yeah. Like cum bucket. But it's just, yeah. I don't think. I mean, I haven't thought of. I haven't seen a bullpen heavy roster since the Indian. They were the Indians then, so I could say it. The Indians in 2016. I don't know. I mean, it feels like, yeah. I don't know.
It'll be, yeah. I'm hoping this is just a one-off for this season. Roberts, this is your one time where you can over Robert yourself from history this season.
Yeah.
He did it. And I think they said this is the second time that a pitcher had a perfect game going through 7 innings or 6 innings and they were pulled. And the other time was Rich Hill with Dave Roberts as a manager.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember Rich Hill was pissed too.
Yeah. Yep. Rich Hill. Anyways, on to the next topic. Little known man. Speaking of those Cleveland teams, the artist formerly known as the Indians, the Cleveland Guardians had their first week of baseball, and they had some absolute history happen.
Quick question: were you offended when Tom Hanks was the voiceover of the Cleveland Guardians like announcement video?
Low key, because he's technically from Cleveland.
No,
he was born in Cleveland.
No.
What's his connection?
I'd have no idea. I thought it was very odd that they would pick Tom Hanks to be the voiceover for that when he's an A's fan. Like, why wouldn't you get someone who's like a famous Cleveland person, like an infamous Cleveland fan?
Oh, he studied theater at the Great Lakes Theater Festival in Cleveland, Ohio. But I thought, like,
why wouldn't you get like LeBron to do it?
Because LeBron's a Yankees / Dodgers / whoever's mating at the moment fan for baseball.
He is. I thought he was a Guardians fan was Indians fan. He was at the World Series 2016. Anyway,
yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Or they could have got Drew Carey, Machine Gun Kelly.
That would have been dope, actually.
Ohio. Anyway, Stephen Kwon. You may have not heard of him at this point last week because he was just a rookie taking, getting a spot with the Guardians. But he has made baseball history. He went in his first, followed up historic Sunday. He went 5 for 5 and reached base 6 times in his third career major league game.
God
so
damn.
Through 4 games, he's reached base 15 times. But here's the craziest part. And then at one point, he had reached base in 9 consecutive at-bats. But the craziest part about this whole entire thing is until yesterday, he had not swung and missed on a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
He'd become the 6th player since 1901 to record a 5-hit game within 3 career games, and just the 2nd since World War II. The other person was, I like how that's a stat. Well, the other person was Yerman Mercedes. So remember last year when he went crazy, and then Tony La Russa pretty much was like, "You need a catch," and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
The other players include, these are all real names: Cecil Travis, Red Macy, Jack Dalton,
school names,
and Judge McCready. So,
what? It's a quote from The Office where it's like, "No one has had this much drama since World War II." I don't know. Anyway, for some reason that's what I thought of.
Did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No.
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking insane. It's almost as if like he has a time machine and he can go into the future like 5 seconds before to see what the pitch is. Like, you know what I mean? Like because like this is like an unreal success rate. Like it's not. It doesn't. It feels rigged almost. You know.
It's like he stepped into the team's hot tub, and then all of a sudden the hot tub started swirling him around, and he traveled through time 5 seconds ahead.
Oh, Julio, that was terrible. He's referencing Hot Tub Time Machine Kids.
It was a great movie.
It was great.
No, but like I think it's a really cool because this obviously they changed their name this last offseason.
Yeah.
They've gotten a lot of slack this past offseason as well because they were also one of the teams who didn't spend much money, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what they did? They signed Jose Ramirez to extension, to like a 5-year extension, to like a pretty good, like team friendly deal too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of washed out their mouths out. And then plus, Stephen Kwon just made history and was kind of the talk of baseball in this last week. So it's really awesome, especially as a rookie, to see somebody do that.
Yeah.
Tip of the cap. Not much else we can say about it, really.
No.
Well, hopefully the bar's been set. That's all we can say.
Yeah. So some history was made this past week on the gender front. Two specific ones. This one was yesterday. Alyssa Nakin. Alyssa Nakin. She's she's a coach for the Giants. She was the first base coach, first ever female on-field coach in MLB history. So that was pretty cool. And also last Friday, Rachel Balkovic made her professional baseball managing debut with the Tampa Bay Tarpons. So some barriers are being broken, Julio. I was lucky enough to interact with Rachel a little bit, and she's awesome. And she's going to be a great manager, I think. It's really interesting to look at that particular case because the Yankees have decided to entrust this woman with the future of their franchise with these young single-A baseball players. And yeah, to have someone start out there with that kind of hanging over the shoulders is, I don't know. I just find that whole aspect of that narrative fascinating, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not just you became the first woman in professional baseball to take a managerial position. It's that you're also doing it for the Yankees.
Yeah.
So it's like this historic, the most known American franchise, arguably sports franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Like them and Cowboys right there, probably.
American, yeah.
And to kind of take that,
probably like Real Madrid and like Manchester United up there too.
Yeah. But like the pressure that must be on this woman to kind of, have any sort of success is crazy. But the thing is, I think mass majority of people in sport and the baseball industry are cheering for her. Everybody wants her to succeed. Everybody's rooting for her. She took a fucking line drive off the face and was back on the field like a couple days later, like it was nothing. Like she's going to be but you're totally right. She's going to be also she is managing Jason Dominguez, who's like the Martian. He's like the Yankees top prospect. So I think that would be I think that'd be really cool if their careers kind of start aligning with one another and they kind of go through this together. Awesome. Big things. And then with the Alyssa Nakin, it was kind of interesting why this happened because the Giants' normal first base coach, Antoine Richardson, got thrown out of the game.
Yeah.
So she was, from what it sounded like, she was just like back in the cages with like a couple other guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you're going to go coach first.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's kind of cool. Like the first
what's she a coach? What's she a coach of? Like, for the Giants again? Like what she's?
I'm looking that up.
She like assistant hitting coach or something like that.
Yeah, I think she's like here. Let me find the exact title.
She's been around the game for a long time. She's been an assistant coach for a long time.
Yeah, and that's the thing about like all these the two women we just talked about. It's like they're not just like these people are like, we're gonna like they more know about base. They know more about baseball than like 98%, 99% of like the American population, or like there's a reason why they're there.
Yeah, they're
cool. But also, oh my God, didn't realize this. Chris, Sac State alumni.
Yeah.
And
She was
she's
a
from
softball
Woodland.
player. She's a softball player at Sac State.
And she's from Woodland. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Singers up.
Corey McLaughlin. His mom lived in Woodland, if I remember right.
I don't know.
The late 2000s.
I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Anyways, besides the point, she took the field, big, a warm ovation from the crowd. And she, Eric Hosmer was the person on first, shook her hand, congratulated her. So it's awesome feat. She's the first. She is 1000% not going to be the last. I can't wait to see how this goes from here. And I'm still trying to find her exact title.
She this is her second year on that staff, I want to say. I don't know. Yeah,
assistant coach. I'm sorry.
Assistant hitting coach?
Just assistant coach.
Okay. If she was back in the cage in the clubhouse, and she was probably working on scouting report for the next inning or some shit like that. Anyway, okay.